Good morning mga Mars! Good morning, good morning, good morning again! Dito ulit tayo sa magbabasa ng libro. Nasa chapter 8 na tayo. Men are still from Mars, women are still from Venus. In my relationship seminars, I explained that the differences between men and women make it seem as if we are from different planets. I explore these differences in much greater detail in my book. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. While thousands of people nod their heads in agreement when I give my examples, there are some who don't fully relate. In fact, it is not at all uncommon for many women to say that they more fully relate to my examples of being a man. They feel that they are from Mars and not Venus. I assure them that nothing is wrong, and that even though society has to a great extent influenced them to become more masculine, they are still from Venus. There are many factors that influence a woman having a more developed masculine side or a man having a more developed feminine side. Quite commonly, if a girl bonds more closely with her father, or if she was raised in a very male dominant household, she will tend to more fully develop her masculine side. Likewise, if a boy bonds more closely with his mother, or if he is raised in a very female dominated household, he will tend to more fully develop his female side. Agree ako niyan. Meron ako kakilalang ganyan talaga. Lumaki siya na kasama-kasama yung mama niya. Kaya medyo the way he talks is ano, may pagka feminine. Generally speaking, though a woman becomes more masculine when she has not witnessed a woman being feminine and also being respected. Likewise, a man becomes more feminine when he has not witnessed a man being loving and also being strong and powerful. Cultural backgrounds in certain ethnic groups also have characteristics that are more masculine or feminine. For examples, Germans and Swedes tend to frown upon open displays of emotion or talking just for the sake of talking instead of trying to make a point, whereas Italian families are much more emotionally expressive. Sometimes the different feminine tendency don't show up in a woman because when she is single and rather isolated, she has become the Martian and takes care of herself. Once she is in a relationship, many traditional female tendencies begin to emerge. In other cases, a woman will become more masculine or martial because in her relationships over time, she experiences that it is not safe to be feminine. For example, the feminine need to talk more may cause too much frustration or make her look weak. Rather than appear too needy or cause conflict, she automatically begins to suppress her feminine side. Men sometimes also feel that they are from Venus. Creative men in particular experience both their male and female sides. These men generally are attracted to women who are more on their male side. Again, the formula holds true: differences attract. In some cases, these men didn't have positive role model for expressing masculine power. They do not know how to assert themselves and set limits, but also be loving and caring. To fulfill the woman, they are willing to sacrifice their needs. Not only are they personally weakened, but when they become more feminine, women lose their attraction to them and leave. By using new relationship skills, these men can automatically begin to develop their masculine side while also respecting their feminine side. Emotional role reversal. When a man is more on his female side or a woman is more on his male side, he or she is experiencing an emotional role reversal. As we discussed earlier, this term does not in any way imply psychological neurosis. It is merely an imbalance. To improve relationships, balance must be re-established. To create ideal relationships, Both the male and female sides of each partner must be nurtured. When couples are not skilled in supporting each other, a woman will automatically begin to close down to her female side, and a man will withhold his instinctive desire to support from his male side. She feels, I will not give of myself anymore because I am not supported. And he feels, why should I be giving of myself when it doesn't make a difference? When a man is on his female side, when a man is operating too much from his female side, the antidote is for him to do things that will immediately allow him mate to nurture his male side. He should look to her for appreciation and acknowledgement. When she supports him in this way, he can more quickly reestablish balance. She benefits as well. If a man is on his female side, applying new relationship skills may not at first feel natural. His female side will say, why do I have to duck and dodge and make it safe for her? I want her to make it safe for me. I want to talk too. By overcoming this resistance and learning to listen first and contain before expressing his own feelings, a man exercises and strengthens his male side. When his male side has successfully supported her female side, it is then productive and healthy for him to allow her to be there for his female side. After he has nurtured his female side and she has nurtured his masculine side by appreciating his support, then it is fine for him to look freely to her to nurture his female side. If a man has a more developed female side, he will feel a pull to be nurtured by his mate's masculine side. He will feel a greater need for her to be there for him. He will get upset when she doesn't want to talk or walk on the relationship. He will complain that she is not there for him in the relationship. He will ask lots of questions to get her to talk more. He will want her to listen and understand his feelings and offer sympathy and help him in various ways. A man's female side has legitimate needs, but to allow them to full access in a relationship will tend to push a woman to her masculine side. Such a man can better support the needs of his feminine side by going to a men's support group, spending more time with his male friends, doing personal growth work, or looking to God for this kind of support. Requiring his partner to support his female side puts an enormous strains on the relationship. A woman is already needing more support to connect with her female side. She can't find her female side and also be the man for his female side. When a man looks to a woman primarily for this kind of support, not only does he push her to her masculine side, but it may even weaken him. Unable to talk with other males about their problems, many men complain to their wives. This creates ever greater imbalance. After a while, as he talks more and more, she will talk less and less. A man needs to be careful not to whine too much with his wife, or she will begin mothering, and her desire for him will flicker in them. As a general suggestion, a man should not express more sensitivities than his mate. If he is more sensitive, he will need to toughen up a bit by nurturing his male side more. When a woman says she wants a sensitive man, she really means that she wants a man who is strong but is sensitive to her needs. Quite commonly, women are turned off when a man becomes more sensitive than she is. Briefly in the beginning, it may seem very attractive, particularly if she is on her male side. But very quickly, if it persists for too long, she becomes increasingly annoyed. A man needs to be careful not to look to a woman to fulfill his feminine need, feminine needs. Ideally, a man should look to a woman primarily to nurture his male side and not his female side. His male side is nurtured every time he feels appreciated, accepted, and trusted. The more nurtured he feels, the stronger and tougher he will be. But at the same time, he will grow more sensitive to her needs. This strength and sensitivity to her needs is what women really appreciate, and it makes him feel both strong and loving. If he happens to be more sensitive than she is, It may take a few years to balance out and find his masculine strength in the relationship. In the meantime, he should not burden her with his sensitivities. For example, if his feelings are hurt or if he feels more emotionally needy, he should then talk with men friends and not look to her primarily to support his need to talk and share feelings. A man achieves balance in a relationship primarily through successfully supporting the female. When a man succeeds in supporting her, then to a great extent his own female side is automatically nurtured. When she is happy, he feels happy because indirectly his own female side is automatically supported. When a man loves a woman and feels a deep connection with her, it is then as though her female side becomes his. Through fulfilling her female side, not only is his male side appreciated, but his female side is also nurtured. When a woman is on her male side, when a woman feels responsible to nurture a man's female side, it actually puts her out of balance. For example, when he expects her to listen more to his feelings, it has the effect of turning her off not only to him, but to her own female side. Automatically, she begins to become more masculine. New relationship skills are required to assist women in returning to their female side. A woman feels most nurtured when her female side is directly supported. A woman achieves balance through successfully supporting her male partner and supporting her. If she can create a climate in which to receive the support she needs in order to be happy, her male side is also simultaneously developed. In this way, a woman is able to assert her male side to solve the problems while safeguarding her female side through being directly nurtured by her partner. On the other hand, when she directly supports her male partner's female side, she overlooks her own, until one day she wakes up angry and resentfully that her caring and understanding are no longer reciprocal. When a woman is too much on her male side, the antidote is creating relationship in which her female side blossoms. If she works in a traditionally male role all day, she will have to make deliberate efforts to overcome much inner resistance in order to do this. When a woman on her masculine side gets home, she may want to go to her cave. She is definitely not in the communicative mood. She feels a much greater need for space than her man does. She needs to solve problems and can't waste time talking about them. Since her male side wants to be appreciated, accepted, and trusted, she resents it when her partner gives her advice or doesn't recognize all that she does. In most cases, she would rather do things herself. She definitely feels that her partner isn't giving her the appreciation she deserves as a provider. To support her male side, she needs to spend time with other women who can nurture her male sides, need to be appreciated. Ideally, a woman should look to the man in her life for caring, understanding, and respect. These qualities of love nurture her female side. As she gets those needs fulfilled and her appreciation for her partner increases, then she can expect that he will overflow and appreciate all that she does as well. It is definitely not healthy for a woman and man to compete for appreciation in a relationship. While it is important for women to be appreciated, they should look to their male partners to support their female sides. Women today need a man's support more than ever to be able to return to their feminine sides at the end of the day. Emotional role reversal and attraction. With so many women in the workforce, it is becoming more common for them to begin a relationship in emotional role reversal. By pursuing him more actively, a woman causes a man to move more to his female side rather than feel a responsibility to initiate a relationship. He waits and lets her do the pursuing. When a woman is on her male side, she tends to be attracted to a man on his female side and vice versa. Many men sense this automatically and move to their female side. This is a trap. Unless men consciously work to find balance, they will eventually lose their appeal. When a woman is more masculine, man tends to become more feminine. Likewise, palihog ko ato kay kuya mo ha. Ano sa tumakuha? Ay kuani ko kay para i-picturean lang nimo. Ha? Oo, okay ra. Kato naman mismong kuan na, di ba? Ana na. Kuani lang ko ha. Salamat. Sendan ta ka. When women is more masculine, a man tends to become more feminine. Likewise, someone, lima no? Yeah, thank you. When a woman is more masculine, a man tends to become more feminine. Likewise, if a man becomes more feminine, a woman becomes more masculine. If she doesn't learn skills to assist him in nurturing her female side, she will become even more masculine. The more masculine she becomes, the more feminine he becomes. If a very masculine man becomes more feminine, he is moving toward balance. But if he is already too much on his female side, pushing him farther into it creates greater imbalance. If he is very feminine and she is very masculine, maintaining attraction requires he slowly but surely develop his masculine side as she develops his feminine side. By developing the male and female sides in tandem, new relationship skills promote greater balance and attraction. Conventional relationship. In more conventional relationship, the man is more masculine and the woman is more feminine. The attraction lessen over time if the woman repeatedly experiences that she cannot be supported on her female side, rather than the risk, the pain of repeated invalidation of rejection. She closes up and becomes, in certain ways, more masculine. The same is true for men. Rather than continuing to do masculine things like make decisions, initiate sex, and solve problems for her, when he doesn't feel appreciated, he suppresses his male side. In various ways, he will automatically become more feminine. Without the sexual polarity, the attraction between partners dissipates. Although couples may start out very masculine and feminine, over time they begin to reverse roles emotionally. Over time, they begin to reverse roles emotionally. When a man doesn't feel his masculine side being supported, he then automatically begins to go out of balance. Likewise, when a woman doesn't get the support she needs at the office and at home to be feminine, then she also goes out of balance. Balancing the masculine and the feminine. Ironically, men go out of balance because they are not getting the support from women that they used to get in the old days, while women go out of balance because they are not getting a new kind of support from men. To solve our modern problems, women need to find within themselves the feminine love they used to share, but without giving up the new power they are expressing. A modern man's challenge is to draw upon his ancient courage and risk failures by trying out new formulas for success in order to support the woman he loves in new ways. Why men and women are unaware of the necessary techniques needed to create balance. Emotional role reversals automatically kicks in. For both sexes, it commonly happens in, in distinct stages. Emotional role reversal and doing it all. When a woman returns home from work, her tendency is to stay in her masculine side, particularly if there is more work to be done. Instead of relaxing and talking about her problems, she feels that she faces a new list of problems that need to be solved. She either talks about them to get her partner's help to solve them, or she doesn't want to talk at all. She feels she has to do it all. To cope with her frustration, she too may begin to withdraw from the relationship and feel a need to go to her cave. Her experience changes when she is on her female side. When a woman is connected to her feminine side, she is capable of enjoying and appreciating the small details of living. She may be aware of problems, but she does not have to solve them immediately in order to feel good. When she is too much on her male side, she then suddenly feels an urgency to solve all of life's little and big problems. She feels too responsible for doing everything and taking care of everyone. She feels overwhelmed. Instead of feeling loving, peaceful, warm, and happy to be home, she feels to various degrees frustrated, overworked, unappreciated, and unsupported. It is then extremely difficult for her to take time out for herself and appreciate life's simple pleasures. When a woman feels overwhelmed at the end of the day, she is generally enough in touch with her female side to remember all her problems, but her male side demands that she find solutions and do something. In this state, it is hard to her to relax or even know what would nurture her female side. When women are feeling overwhelmed, they are so focused on getting things done that they literally can't feel the inner needs and wants of their feminine sides. Each time they finish a task, rather than they feel relieved, they begin to feel the inner emptiness and longing of their female sides. Three ways a woman goes out of balance. When a woman feels heavily overwhelmed, she doesn't feel safe talking in a non goal oriented manner because she has moved out of balance to her problem solving male side and can't get back. This tends to manifest itself in these three distinct ways. Stage 1, feeling overwhelmed and overeating. A woman's most common reaction to undernourishment of her female side is to eat. Eating is an easy replacement for love. Through feeding herself, She can temporarily suppress the painful feelings of insecurity that are emerging from her female side. By numbing feelings, her potential for passion is stilled. Women overeat to quench the deeper thirst for nurturing and secured relationships. This tendency is technically called a need replacement. If she can't get what she really needs, the real need is replaced by another need that appears more attainable. Mm. In this case, her need for love is replaced by her for food. Until the craving for love is satisfied, she will always be hungry. Through eating more, she is able to temporarily repress the persistent longings of her female side and find relief. In some cases, she may even fool herself temporarily into believing that she is quite happy and that she doesn't need to talk or share a nurturing relationship. Why women gain weight? Mhm, mhm. Quite commonly, soon after a woman gets married, she frequently begins to put on weight in excess of the natural gain mandated by aging and childbirth. This shift takes place not because the relationship has problem, but because marriage itself makes a woman relax and feel more secure. Mm. As her female side begins to blossom, it says, "Now that I am loved, I can finally come out and be nurtured, supported, and heard." She begins involuntarily to experience emotions and urges that women have felt for centuries, but which have been suppressed by modern independent living. You see, as a woman connects more deeply with her female side, her natural tendency to talk about feelings and problems abruptly emerges. It is as if possessed. It is as if she is possessed by the spirit of her female ancestors. These alien feelings from her ancient past make her modern self feel that she is overly needed, emotional, illogical, pity, even weak. Many women are embarrassed by these feelings. In a state of emotional confusion, the last thing a woman wants is to share the origins of that confusion with her spouse. In most cases, she doesn't even feel comfortable sharing these new feelings with other women. She doesn't know what to do because she never saw her mother successfully sharing feelings or problems with her father that resulted in her getting his respect and support. To avoid creating unnecessary conflict or frustrating her mate, she chooses to suppress the need to share these feelings coming from her female side, and as a result, feels a new need to eat more. The more she eats, the more she is able to keep at bay these strange new feelings and tendencies, but only temporarily, until she finds a way to fulfill and directly nurture her female side on a regular basis. She will continue to use food as a painkiller. When a woman tries to solve the problem of overeating through dieting, she goes ever farther out of balance by moving toward her male side. During a diet, the body feels the panic of famine and craves food even more. The female side is nurtured by feeling secure and supported. The imposition of strict discipline requiring control nurtures and strengthens the male side, not the female side. Mm. Is comfort, effortlessness, security, fun, recreation, pleasure, and beauty all nurture the female side. Dieting does not. Recent diet programs that encourage women to eat more low fat foods and exercise at a slow, easy pace instead of depriving themselves are definitely a better approach to losing weight. However, the most effective solution to female weight problems is more nurturing relationship in a less pressure, more relaxed lifestyle. Mm, dapat relax para stay pretty, stay sexy. Stage 2. Women who do too much. When women are deprived of the support their female side requires to avoid feeling the pain of rejection, they move to their male side and begin exhibiting traditional masculine tendencies. They become increasingly goal oriented, competitive, assertive, independent, and efficient. They take great pride in being logical and rational. In most cases, life experiences or certain messages in childhood have conditioned them to reject feminine feelings as weak, undesirable, and unlovable. It is hard for these women to see themselves as being lovable to men if they were to be soft and feminine. They work hard to hide their feminine sensitivities and needs, incorrectly assuming that femininity is undesirable. They have no idea why a man will be attracted to that. These women deal with their inner female side by becoming hard instead of soft, tough instead of sensitive, and independent instead of dependent. Self sufficiency is their primary method of coping. They tend to pull away from intimate conversation. In some cases, they even scorn the male support that could eventually bring them fulfillment and prevent them from shifting into the mood of doing more. For some women, the tendency to do more means more domestic perfectionism. Everything has to be in its place, organized, and clean. For others, it simply implies that there is never enough time to relax. If women cannot relax because their male side demands solution to their problems, passion quickly loses its magic and disappears, and sex becomes mechanical. Other women do too much by taking an excessive responsibility. They have a hard time saying no when they feel needed. They may even feel compelled to do things that they are not even asked to do. They pride themselves on anticipating the needs of others and being there for them. What a man can do for her. To support a woman, a man must understand that, deep inside, she longs to relax, let go, and surrender to someone she trusts to care for and support her. This is the true inner need of the female side. However, because she judges her need to help as unacceptable, it is unconsciously replaced by a false need. The replacement needs emerge as an urgent calling to fulfill others. She feels as if her happiness is based on providing fulfillment for others instead of getting her own needs satisfied. In a sense, she becomes the responsible and caring man she wishes could fulfill her. This insight is valuable for both men and women. Saman? Mm-mm. Saman. This insight is valuable for both women and men. When a woman is becoming overly responsible, instead of justicing her for doing too much, a man can realize that she needs help in getting back to her feminine side. Without a supportive partner, women on their male side tend to become increasingly self sufficient and thus decrease the possibilities of having a man support them. Women who feel overwhelmed rarely get the support they need. They do not know how to be vulnerable or to ask for it. Since they are seen as self sufficient, help is rarely offered. It's rejected. No one is allowed to see the vulnerable part of her. Everyone is encouraged to regard with admiration the strong and giving side. Such women have trouble even contacting their needs and giving to themselves for a change. There is a little a man can do for them unless he understands that the stronger these women appear, the more needy they are deep within. Men without a deeper understanding are easily frustrated by women who do too much. The busier she is, the less time and appreciation she has for him. He does not feel that he can help her and then fulfill her. No matter what he does for her, she is always driven to do more. On a feeling level, he feels cut off from her. If he cannot do for her, then he cannot receive her love. He doesn't feel that he can make a difference in her life. In a very real sense, her independence and sense of autonomy push him away. These women do not understand that men love to make a difference. To be fulfilled, a man needs to feel successful in providing for her fulfillment. This is how men experience greater intimacy with women. How to attract Mr. Right? Because it's more difficult for women who do too much to start relationships. They commonly ask me how to attract a man. My response is to ask them why they need a man. The question invariably takes them by surprise. They give answers like, well, I don't know if I really need a man, or I'm not sure that I need a man. Others are more deliberate, clearly stating, I don't really need a man, but I want one. If these women are to secure a lasting relationship, they must first begin to open up to their feminine side, which feels no shame in saying, I need a man. If women are to secure a lasting relationships, they must first begin to open up to their feminine side, which feels no shame in saying, I need a man. When a woman is in a hurry or desperate for a relationship, she is definitely feeling from her female side, but it's not sufficiently nurtured to attract the right man. Through nurturing her female side, something magical begins to happen. She feels her need for a man and trusts that at the right time and in the right place, she will find him. This openness can be cultivated by finding fulfillment in her female side, in her female friendships, without depending on a man, yet remaining open to receiving a man's support. Ano? So, yun pala ang pag-attract na Mr. Right. How men experience intimacy. We must always keep in mind that a man bonds emotionally by successfully doing for a woman. A man experiences greater intimacy each time he succeeds in providing her partner with fulfillment. We must also remember that women experience greater intimacy primarily by receiving love and support. This is a very important distinction. If a woman cannot slow down and allow a man to nurture her female side, she will have trouble creating a bond in the first place. A simple example of the new relationship skills of slowing down can be simply and graphically. A man and a woman approach a door. Women who do too much will speed up, politely open the door, and wait for the man to walk through. They give to others what they need themselves, which only reinforce the tendency to give and not receive. To nurture her female side, a woman should practice slowing down to make sure he gets to the door first, waiting for him to open it, walking through and thanking him. When she lets him open the door for her, she gives him an opportunity to support her successfully. To nurture her female side, a woman should practice slowing down to make sure he gets to the door first, waiting for him to open it, walking through and thanking him. When she lets him open the door for her, she gives him an opportunity to support her successfully. Rituals for finding balance. Truth is dynamic. A man is placed in a masculine role of providing, and a woman moves to her feminine role of graciously receiving. It also clarifies her real need, which is to be cared for. She doesn't physically need him to open the door, but when he does, it supports and nurtures her female side. Her femininity needs and thrives on this kind of support in order to find balance. When a man opens the door for a woman, it is as if he is saying, "You are special to me. I care about you. I honor you. I am here for you. I understand you do so much for everyone, so I am happy to help make things easier for you whenever I can." This loving message is given each time a man goes a little out of his way to show consideration for making his partner's life easier and more comfortable. Action speaks much louder than words. Stage 3. Women who want men to talk more. The third most common reaction women have when they experience the imbalance of emotional role reversal is to long for their men to talk more and show themselves in traditional feminine ways. The third most common reaction women have when they experience the imbalance of emotional role reversal is to long for their men to talk more and share themselves in traditionally feminine ways. A woman in this third stage longs for a man to open up and share his feelings the way she would if she were in balance. It is as though she wants him to be feminine before she can feel safe in being feminine. These women fully believe that they would be fulfilled if their partners would only open up and be more sensitive and vulnerable. This longing for men to be softer and more sensitive is really a replacement need. It covers the woman's real longing to be more sensitive and soft themselves. Just as the overweight woman replaced her need for love with the need for food, or the woman who does too much replaced her need to be supported with the need to support others. This woman replaced her need to be feminine with the need for her partner to be feminine. These replacement needs are not deliberate choices but are reflexive reactions that occur when a woman are required to function like men without the support they need to be feminine. When a woman doesn't feel safe, a woman in a loving relationship may feel unsafe because she feels unlovable or because her partner hasn't yet learned how to make her feel secure. Regardless of why she doesn't feel safe, when she can't express her female side, she will automatically move to her male side and exhibit more masculine traits. To find balance, she will begin to crave a more feminine partner. Generally, the man she chooses is already more sensitive and open. In some cases, though he is originally a less sensitive man, but over time she tries to make him more feminine by demanding that he open up and share more or become more domestic. This reaction occurs because the woman doesn't have a clear picture of how to get the nurturing support she needs for her own female side. She feels driven to support his female side. Instinctively, she feels, if I can listen sympathetically to his problems and feelings, he'll listen to mine. If I can fulfill his feminine side, he'll fulfill mine. While this formula works with other women, it does not work with men. Mhm. When a woman wants to talk, I can tell when my wife really has something to tell me because she is inevitably asks me lots of questions. For example, when I returned from teaching my weekend seminars, she was sometimes particularly interested in seeing me and asking lots of questions. This is a signal that she has a lot to share. I know understand I now understand that after answering a few questions, I am supposed to ask her questions about her weekend. By cracking the secret feminine code, I have learned to give Bonnie what she's asking for. Before I understood how we were different, the same situation would turn into a major argument. She would ask me questions about my weekend when she wanted to talk instead of simply telling me what she wanted to share. What I really wanted to do was relax quietly, but I could tell her she wanted me to talk, so I will try. When I look back at those times, I can see that it was like pulling teeth. The more she wanted me to talk, the less I wanted to. After a few minutes of answering her question as briefly as possible, I felt as if I answered her question as a gift to her, and then would go relax and watch TV as a gift for me. Did I know that this was not what was expected. Now she was even more upset. Now only I had resisted her question. I wasn't asking her question in return. The process only became positive when I could read the signals and begin applying new relationship skills. Now, when Bonnie asked me lots of questions, I talk a little and then ask her a lot of questions. If she's still not a- if she is still not talking, I gently persist. Once she gets going, I let her do most of the talking because it is her need more than mine. Never talking more than a woman, as the general guidelines counteracts the tendency to go into emotional role reversal. Certainly, on some occasions, I will talk more, but when I begin to notice it is happening a lot, I pull back and focus on assisting her in opening up. The starting truth that I have discovered only in the past 10 years is that the more women is dependent on her partner to talk and open up, the farther she gets from her female side. With this insight, I eventually came to realize that the greatest gift I could give my clients was to help the men to be successful in listening to the women. I would also help the women prepare them so that listening was not insurmountably difficult. Once a man eventually learned this skill, he didn't get to he didn't get so upset with his female partner's feelings. Suddenly, women were feeling much safer and freer about expressing their feelings. Using this approach, couples quite quickly feel more successful in their relationship. How women begin to feel when men open up. Let's explore some of the diverse comments made by different women whose partner were more expressive of feelings than they themselves were. While not every woman will relate to each of these, they are very common, particularly to women who have lived with men who are more sensitive. He does. He shares how upset he feels when she talks about her feeling. He becomes angry and shares his gut reaction to her feelings before talking time to call off. She feels, I didn't realize he was so sensitive. Now I have to be careful all the time. I don't feel safe saying anything to him. No matter what I say, it's upsetting to him. I am afraid to open up with him. Mm. He does. He shares openly about all his problems in response to her talking about hers. He complains too much and always wants things to be better. He shares his deep feelings of insecurity and his need to be loved. He talks too much about his feelings whenever he gets whenever he gets ticked off. He shares his hurt feelings and cries more than she does. He gets angry a lot and feels that he has to get it out rather than silently contain his feelings in order to cool off. He talks about his problems more or the problems with the relationship than she does. He has enough problems. I don't want to burden him with mine. He is just too needy. I don't want another child. I really appreciate that he's open up, but now that I know him, I'm not really that attracted to him. I feel bad about it, but I really don't want to be with him anymore. I care about his emotions, but I feel like I can't be with around him. I feel like I have to walk on eggshells when I am around him. I don't feel heard or understood. I am embarrassed to say this, but when he cries all the time, I can respect his feelings, but I lost all my romantic feelings for him. When he gets angry, I feel like he is a child throwing a tantrum. Automatically, I begin to feel like I have to always please and mother him. I am really glad we are in therapy. He really needs it. I didn't realize he had so many problems. Not that I'm perfect. I just feel like he needs someone else. I want to leave because I don't know what to do for him. He whines to complain about things more than she does. I resent that he whines about everything. I want to be with a more masculine man. I don't want to be married to another woman. He talks about his needs for more in a relationship and looks to his partner to fulfill his female side. He is always very attentive to me, but I feel that he is always needing more. When I don't when I don't when I don't talk, he gets upset, and when he talks, I just want to get out of the room. I listen, but I really don't want to. None of these women could have predicted that they would feel this way. Like many women, they thought that if their male partner would just open up, they would be in a marital bliss. How women react to a man's sensitivities. The way a woman reacts to her partner's vulnerabilities is practically the opposite of how a man will respond to her. If he hears her feelings and doesn't feel blame, then he cares and connects with his own female side. By listening to a woman share, a man can feel sensitive to her feelings and yet strong and determined to help. When a woman listens to a man's feeling, she also becomes stronger but resents having to care for him to care more for him when she needs him to care for her. This shift in women can be extremely gradual and hard to detect. As a man opens up, she is initially very impressed and finds his behavior endearing. Unfortunately, she eventually tries of it and turns off to him. Even when she wants to leave him, she will feel that it is not him but her. In many cases, however, it is because he opened up more than she did and she was simply turned off. Morning, Doc.
Okay,
Sa?
energy.
Murag,
Nagtulak ko sa motor.
murag naglisod man kay ka.
Nahanap ko. Dubi mo na start ko. Ano ko na start ba? It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable.
Yung love.
Tulo ko bukol.
Ay, tulo?
Oo, kaya, di kaya isa ba?
Morning, morning. Di makayag isa imo.
Di kaya yung
Di na, delikado to?
Dili kay isa-isa ba yung ilong?
Ay, pinakimuha ni Tanan. Love kay ilan love ha?
Pinaganit sa ano?
15. Thank you. Nara Doc. Thank you. Palihog ko sa basiyo, Doc, ha? Love. Lapad sa? Kanduay? Ang katong junior kay 250. Ang katong dako kay 375. Kanang emperador nga double line. Ha? Unsa sa na? Ah, nag-live ba ya ako ron lang? Oo. One lang. O na lang, ha? Sige, bye-bye. He will convince himself that he doesn't need to be appreciated. This is only because he has not tasted the fulfillment of being appreciated for his every effort and action, regardless of the result. Forgiveness, acceptance, and appreciation have not been his experience growing up or while in relationships with women. In most cases, when a man begins drifting from a relationship focus to a work focus, he doesn't even know that he's missing the appreciation he used to get from his spouse. He may agree with her when she says, "Why should I appreciate him for emptying the trust? It's his trust too." Unaware that he needs to be appreciated for the little things. He seeks to do things he seeks to do big things for her that should reap the reward of her favor, but they don't. Without the daily experience of appreciation at home, a man begins to measure himself solely by the results of his work. Because he's hungry for success is really a replacement for his true need to be appreciated. He is never satisfied with his success. He is in a self defeating pattern and is spiraling down. The more he focuses on work, the less he does directly for his wife. If he is not doing things directly for his wife, her appreciation will not touch him. Even if she does appreciate him, he can barely feel it. The less is appreciated he feels, the more self critical and dissatisfied he becomes. The first stage inevitably leads him to the second stage of imbalance. When he comes home, he will he is unable to shift from the work mode to the relationship mode. Stage 2. He doesn't come out of his cave. When a man comes home feeling unsuccessful at work, he immediately pulls away from his partner to relax and forget the problems of his day. As we have already discussed, temporarily pulling away is quite normal. However, since he is recovering from the added stress and feeling unsuccessful, it will take him much longer before he is ready to emerge. But in stage 2, he simply cannot forget the pressure. If a man feels bad about his work, it is much harder to feel good even while pursuing a hobby or watching his favorite thing. When the pressure to succeed predominates, the power of escape time activates to release him from the grip of work diminished proportionally. When the male's side is not sufficiently nurtured by his mate, he has little energy when he gets home. It is as if he is storing it up until he can confront his problems the next day. The masculine energy he used to bring to the relationships is greatly suppressed. Men experience difficulties in forgetting work related problems and pressures because their female side keeps reminding them of the problems, while their male side feels incapable of solving them. As a result, they become addicted to cave time activities in an attempt to forget the problems and pressures of work. Such men tend to be disinterested in what is going on around them. It is hard for a man like this to connect with his partner because not only is he is so preoccupied, He doesn't even have the motivation he once did. Lamat, Doc!
Load po dito ba? Sorry.
Hmm.
Ko. Ito mo 99 pesos yan na 0919.
The 99.
99 pesos giga ito video.
Giga Video 99. 2 gigabytes ng open access, tapos 1 gigabytes day, ay 1 gigabytes per day for YouTube. NBE signal I want, tapos valid for 7 days.
Ito so, tawag ano mo na promo?
Giga Video 99.
Ito akong ginakuha ng 549 sa to.
Giga Video tapos all net na ano.
Ano at pag next, nabalon ako di ba? Giga Video 99 o Giga Video all net.
09
0919
19
543
543
0295.
0295.
Abi nung pagsulti mo 99, isa na siya. Daghan din ng 99.
Daghan lailay sila do. 0919 543 0295.
Ano pa lagi tawag na nagkuha na, no? 100? 99 talaga, butak ka ang 90 o 100.
Di, kanang kuan mo gud sa kuan, murag, nasa 90 lang nga level, pero to think good, 100 na siya. Murag kuan gani sa ano, strategize nila. 0919 543 0295. Pang-attract gani, Dok, feeling nimo, halimbawa 89. Feeling nimo nasa 80 level lang siya, pero 90 na good siya. Ilahang style kay para feeling nimo. Oh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Doc. Ah. It is hard for a man like this to connect with his partner because not only is he so preoccupied, he doesn't even have the motivation he once did. He has low energy because deep inside, he feels like a failure. Failure is deeply for a man. Failure is deadly for a man. A man's replacement needs. In stage 1, a man's replacement need is to succeed. In stage 2, it is to rest and relax, even though his real need is to... Na ay nag-aas information sa imo about sa ko. Na ay nag-aas information about information sa imo. He feels as though he wants to be ignored so that he can rest, nap, relax, or zone out by watching TV. While he's vegging out, it is a legitimate need. His mate believes that he is just being lazy. Lamat, Doc. This only makes it more difficult for him to hear or be respond. Di kay na ko gets. Unsa to siya? Na ay nag-ask info sa ako or sa imo? Ha? Wala man. Wala man. Asa may udinhi? Murag wa mo koy may makuan na niya nagapangutana sa imo, ha? Chat sa text. Wala man, em. Oo, nga di ay. Me? Ah, mukalit lang? Hmm. Dili pud kahaon sana. Bitaw. Dili mo kila, wala number lang ana. Ay kisa man nag-block ikaw or siya? Unsa? Ah, so mag-send siya message. Tapos, uy, dapat ikuan siguro nimo ang imong password. I-change. Mo kay para secure ba kay basin prone ka sa ano hacking. Oh, sige lang i-recall na ako. Bagkuan nagbasa pa mo og libro, di pa kay nako maisip. I-recall na ako, ha? Sige, sige. Bye-bye, em. Unsa man? Sige, sige. Noted. Ah. Sige, sige. I-note na ko. Gani, no? Bitaw, no? Kung unsay ko, ano. Pero karon ba, na naga-send? Nagaing ana? Karon? Wala na. Mao? Dili ka lagi basin connected atong kuan ba, no? Ikaya? Sige, sige. Sipon po na ko kung na. Oh, oh. Eh? Dili kasi. Hmm. Bitaw, em, no? Basin connected lagi jud siya dito. Kuan na jud nato, ampo lang jud nato, em. Para dili kay kamakuan. No? Lagi. Kaluyan pa puhon-puhon, no? I-update ko, em, ha? Sige, sige. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Instead of being assertive, he becomes passive. Instead of being interested, he is distracted. Instead of wanting to connect, he wants to be left alone. Although resting with his although resting will bring temporary relief, it does not satisfy his need to be energized by appreciation. Without an understanding of what their mates require, women unknowingly make the situation worse. They complain that he is not there for them. They do not instinctively focus on appreciating what he does for them. Even if a man does very little, a woman can still focus on what he does do instead of what he doesn't do. In this way, he will be assisted in eventually doing more and getting the appreciation he needs. Once he gets going, it is like a snowball rolling down a hill, building up speed and growing bigger and bigger. As a man is appreciated for what he does, he will do a little more. When a man is appreciated, he will summon up the energy and motivation to do still more. With a woman's love, he can build up his strength to come out of the cave. When a man is appreciated, he will summon up the energy and motivation to do still more. A woman can also help a man by helping herself. Her being happy Her being happier will even help him to come out. When he sees that she is unhappy and blaming him for not coming out, he feels he must be doing something right. When a woman is happy, a man tends to take the credit and feel good about himself. For example, if he supports her financially, if she goes shopping and returns thanking him for what she brought, he'll feel much better. The downside of a man's taking the credit for a woman's feeling is that when she is not happy, he feels that he's more a failure and retreats even deeper into his cave. When men are in this stage, women tend to criticize them for being lazy and unsupportive. By understanding the second stage, it will be much more possible for her to be compassionate and supportive instead of nagging and complaining. Comparing men and women. By comparing a man's second stage to her own, a woman can increase her understanding. Just as it is difficult for a woman to move out of stage 2, it is equally difficult for a man. A woman in the second stage feels compelled to do more. From her to relax and slow down, she needs a lot to support. When she is married or has children, she is even more driven. Almost every woman knows how hard it is to relax and have a good time when feeling overwhelmed and needed by others. In a similar but opposite way, a second stage man feels driven to do less. He can easily relax but cannot feel motivated to do more. He is energized by the thought of some recreational activity, but becomes suddenly exhausted by the thought of being domestically responsible. He feels a strong need to rest and do less, while she feels a strong need to do more, just as she can't do something fun and for herself. That is all he has the energy to do. Without understanding this dynamic, a relationship can just make it worse for the man. The more he is needed, the more disappointed others who depend on him will be. As a result, he becomes even more immobilized. With this knowledge, a woman can begin to imagine what her man is going through. In a similar way, men can fathom why women in stage 2 imbalance can't just relax and take it easy. Moving the couch potato. Understanding stage 2 of emotional role reversal has helped me immensely. At times when I am not feeling good about my work, I tend to stay in my cave for extended period of time. Even though I would like to come out, I feel trapped. To get myself out, I remember that what I really need is appreciation. My body is telling me that I need to rest and relax, but my mind now knows better. So I force myself out of the couch even though every cell in my body is saying rest, relax, don't get up. I imagine I am lifting weights to build up my muscles. When I am out of shape, lifting weights is always a strain and I don't want to do it. But once I do, I feel much better and stronger. In a similar way, when I am feeling like a couch potato and I am glued to the couch, I lift myself up and do something physically that I know my wife will appreciate. It can be as basic as getting up to empty the trash. Once I start moving, she can give me some appreciation. Soon my engines start pumping again. This technique works especially well because Bonnie takes pain to appreciate my effort. When I do something at home, instead of reacting like, so what? I've been busy since I got home. She will take a moment to articulate her gratitude. If she doesn't notice what I do, instead of missing an opportunity to be appreciated, I can say, did you notice that I emptied the trash? In response, she will always take a moment to say, oh, thanks. Even if she is resenting me and her guts are saying, big deal, she makes a point of saying something brief but nice. Knowing that I can easily be appreciated in my relationships helps me tremendously in coming out of my cave. The repeated experience of appreciation allows me to feel my need for it and then come out and get it. The certain anticipation of her warm responses always help motivate me to get out of my cave. If Bonnie takes the time to appreciate me when she is in stage 2, it helps her as well. By appreciating me, she is taking a moment to become aware that she really isn't alone and that she does have my support. So she begins to relax. For example, when I come out of my cave to empty the trash, she is not just appreciating me for emptying the trash. She is appreciating me for being her companion, friend, and partner in life. Her support frees me from getting trapped in my cave. This does not mean that I don't take cave time. When a man is stressed, it is healthy and natural for him to go to his cave. It only becomes unhealthy when he can't come out again. 12-step program. Generally speaking, it is in stage 2 that a man turns to drinking excessively or other forms of addiction. Mhm. These elements, of course, only lock him into the cave even more. When a man knows he can spend time with friends or friends who appreciated him and don't expect anything much from him, it is much easier to leave the cave. This is the one of the reasons the 12-step sharing programs and other sharing programs which validate his adequate has been so helpful. When a man is stuck in his cave, one of the ways to bury the pain of not being appreciated is to begin drinking. Lati. Di kaya si ano no, si kuan, kuya. Huh? Nagbasa ko ba? When a man is stuck in his cave, one of the ways to bury the pain of not being appreciated is to begin drinking. That's it eh? Wala na, ayun na lang din na. Mali ka nagko. When a man, when a man is one of the ways to bury the pain of not being appreciated is to begin drinking. In a 12-step program, for example, if he can do one more important thing, he will win the appreciation of many others. By abstaining from drinking and showing up, he immediately wins their approval. By continuing to not drink and come to meetings, even if he feels inadequate at work or his relationships, he feels good about himself because he is not drinking. This is tremendous help. Generally speaking, alcoholics in AE are very proud of how many days, weeks, months, and years they have been sober. They wear it like a merit badge. And as the years pass against seniority, they suddenly have a right to feel better about themselves. And a lot of other people admire and appreciate them as well. They have all been there and understand the appreciate the strength it takes to stop an addiction. This admiration strengthens the male side and counteracts emotional rule reversal. Women who also turn to addiction as a result of emotional role reversal. 12-step and other sharing programs are again particularly helpful, but for a different reason. The sharing gives women the nurturing that their female side primarily needs. I do not want to imply that men do not benefit as well by the sharing of feelings. They also have a female side, but before they can come out of their caves, they first need to feel that they can do something they will be appreciated for. One of the many great values of AE for people is that it is a place where they share what they have done or overcome to become sober again. Men get the appreciation they primarily need, while women get the empathy they primarily need. Relationships and the cave. When a man is single, there is nothing preventing him from coming out of his cave whenever he feels like it. When he is in a relationship, however, it is nearly impossible for him to come out of his mate resents is falling away and sits waiting at the door. Too many women unknowingly make this mistake and actually end up working against their own desires. When a man is in the cave, a woman wants more from him, but can sense that if she asks, he will resist like drumming beer. It doesn't occur to her that, like a beer, he is hungry for the honey of her love. She believes that if he talks about his feeling, he'll feel better. Needless to say, the more she tries to get him out by suggesting he do things or by asking him questions, the more he resists. How to get a beer out of his cave. With this new awareness, she can use the new relationship skills that her mother never knew to get him out. She can do it by pretending that he literally is a bear. No one in their right mind would enter a bear's cave while he was sleeping, nor would they try to pull him out. Instead, you would indirectly draw him out by leaving little piece of bread outside his door. If the bread doesn't work, you put honey on it. When he smells it, his instinct will tell him to follow the scent, he appears. Now you begin to sense that he will go whenever you want him to if you leave a trail of bread and honey behind you. If beer is a human male, the bread is the opportunity to do something, and the honey is the appreciation he will get by doing it. Men like beers are looking for honey. When they clearly smell acceptance and appreciation, they are motivated to leave the cave. Stage 3. He wants more support from her. When a man's male side is not supported and he feels stuck in the cave, the third reaction occurs. His male side stays in the cave, but his female side comes out. Suddenly, he wants his partner to take care of him, but because he is still a man, he demands it in an aggressive way. We know that when a man is in his cave, a woman should not try to go in after him. In third stage imbalance, he comes out all right, but with all the guns blazing. He is easily hurt, offended, and provoked. Like a woman, he feels he is doing everything. He not getting nearly enough back. He has moved away over on his female side and is generally very verbally expressive. Whenever a man cannot fully come out of his cave, his female side tends to emerge and take control of the relationship. He will tend to overreact to his mate's mistake, feels a much greater need to talk about his feelings, becomes become much more defensive of his action, and will demand apologies when she has upset him. The need to be respected. In stage 3 of emotional role reversal, a man's really need is still to be appreciated. But because he is not getting the kind of support he really requires, a replacement need takes over. The true need to be appreciated is replaced by the need to be respected. This tendency is more clearly exhibited in more extreme manner by an abusive alcoholic father. Abusive alcoholic father. Quite often, he would tend to demand respect by remarks such as, "This is my house, and as long as you live here, you will do things my way." Even if he is not an alcoholic, a man in this third stage will from time to time present these kinds of demands. When he does, the most effective steps he can take to stop himself or to cease talking to his partner about his feelings and set about containing them. Talking only makes him more rigid, righteous, demanding, and punishing. These are examples of the remarks that indicate that a man must get a grip on himself. She expresses feelings of frustration or disappointment. If you can't be happy, then we should just end this relationship. She expresses unsolicited advice. You don't you don't you know I don't like it when you talk to me that way. Don't do it. She expresses disapproval about something he did or forgot to do. No one can treat me this way. If you do not change, then I will leave you. She is in a bad mood and unable to be appreciated. I do everything for you, and this is what I get in return. She complains about something he hasn't done. How dare you treat me this way? I will not stand for it. You are so ungrateful. She disapproves of something he did and gives advice. I will not put up with this anymore. I do everything right and you are wrong. They get into a heated argument over something petty. I just can't stand this anymore. I don't deserve to be treated like this. You will never learn. That's it. I'm finished. She does something to annoy him. I don't want to be mean, but you make me this way. I have to teach you a lesson. While the above expressions may accurately reflect what he's feeling, it is little to express them to his mate. They are, they are entirely negative, selfish, arrogant, shaming, and controlling, and can do nothing to create a climate of trust and openness. If he is at all interested in getting the love and support he truly needs, then he must practice containing these kinds of feelings. Yes, they are his gut reactions, but not the reaction of his heart and mind. Before he talks, he should first be centered in his heart and mind, not his guts. A man is a man in emotional rule reversal has got respect crazy. When he gets through many When he gets through making others feel guilty or intimidated, he is only temporarily satisfied. His hunger for respect will grow because his soul is really asking for appreciation. Whenever there is a problem, he has to be right and is quick to blame and reject others. In this third stage, a man may want more communication. He demands to know his woman's feeling. Yet when she tells him, he argues and wants to share more of his own. Although he is acting like a woman and needing to share, he is still a man and generally wants to be right and is willing to argue. These spirited arguments feel good to him, but bring only temporary relief. He will continue to feel a strong need to be heard and obeyed. No matter what a woman does for him, it will never be enough. When men get angry, the difference between men in this stage and a woman who needs to be heard is that when a man feels the strong need to share his feelings, he will also want to be right. When a woman needs to share her feelings, generally speaking, she only requires that she feels heard and validated. She does not require a man to agree with her. This third stage is greatly encouraged by popular culture. In the last 20 years, men are repeatedly encouraged to get in touch with feelings and to express them. In many cases, they are shamed for not being more expressive of their feelings. As we have already noted, when a man expresses too many sensitivities, a woman tires of him. Particularly when a man expresses anger, a woman begins to close up because she doesn't feel safe in sharing with him. She refuses to talk. Suddenly, she is in her cave and he is trying to get in. When a woman won't talk, at my seminar, men in the third stage generally share similar complaints. Let's explore a common example. Tim was very angry when he stood up to share his story. He complained that he was much more willing to work on the relationship than his wife. You say women want to talk, he grumbled. I want to talk more, but my wife won't talk to me. The righteous tone in his voice tipped me off to what was wrong. Has your wife ever said to you that you don't listen and that she can't talk to you? I asked. Sure, that's all she say, he answered. But it's not true. I will listen. I am the one who wants to talk more. I do all the things you say a man should do. I cook, clean, makes dates, and do all the things women are supposed to want. And then she spent all her time in the cave. I have had it. Well, that's the reason she won't talk to you. You don't listen, I told him flatly. He then proceeded to prove my point by arguing with me. No, you don't understand. I do listen. I am supportive. I listen to her feelings, but I also expect her to listen to mine. The way you are talking to me is probably just the way you talk to her, I persisted. By arguing, you are ensuring that she will not want to talk with you. Even if she was warming up the idea of sharing with you, your approach would stop her dead in her tracks. A woman simply cannot feel protected or respected when a man speaks to her in such a righteous and demanding tone, particularly when it comes to talking about her feelings. When a man is too emotionally demanding or overly sensitive and easily hurt, a woman feels as if she can't trust him to hear her feelings correctly. She will not feel safe opening up with him when he feels he needs to talk more than she does. The only recourse left open to her is going to her key. This means moving more to her male side because to protect herself from her partner's emotional charge attack and demands, she has to become like a man. After a while, she will feel so comfortable in her cave that her female side will want to stay there. Why a man gets so upset. When a man is on his female side, it will sound very unfair to him when his partner won't talk to him or apologize for upsetting him. He feels powerless to get what he needs unless she agrees with him and express a willingness to change. He does not know how naturally women change when they feel love. When a woman feels love, she slowly begins to open up and is willing to change unsupportive behavior. When her mate is demanding, she will inevitably resist him, which of course only makes him feel angrier and more demanding. When a stage 3 man is upset, he is basically feeling deprived of the support he wants and deserves. To feel better, he needs an effective game plan for getting what he wants. When a man comes up with a workable solution that makes sense to him, he begins to move back to his masculine side, which wants to solve the problem. When a woman doesn't want to talk, and a man does for healthy reason, this is what he can do. He should say, I can tell something is bad. I can tell something is bothering you. What's wrong? He should not he should not stay. He should not say, I am upset and I need to talk with you. She says, I can't talk to you. He should say, and then just pause and consider how he probably gives the message that it's not safe for her to talk. You should not say, of course, you can talk to me. I am the one who is trying to get you to talk. I am the one who is trying to make this relationship work. If she says, you will just argue with me, I don't want to even get started. You should say, you're probably right. What is important is that he should remain calm and accepting. This is the only way to win his partner over. He needs to prove to her that he can duck and dodge her provocations without getting mad. With this kind of safety insurance, she will begin to open up. He should not say, I will not argue, I just want to talk. That would be arguing. To argue with a woman when she doesn't want to talk, just confirm that she can't open up and talk to him. To make it safe for a woman to open up and be feminine in a relationship, he must practice containment. He should contain his feelings so that she can first feel heard. This does not mean that he should never feel or express his feelings. It means that he shouldn't overwhelm her with more negative feelings than she can handle. Instead of spilling his guts, he should go to his cave and think. After he has calmed down, he should focus on the solution, not the problem. He should come up with a workable strategy for doing something that will get him the appreciation he really craves. When men make lists, I can tell I am in stage 3 of emotional role reversal when my female side comes out and start making lists of all the things my partner is doing wrong. When I start making lists, unlike a woman who primarily just need to talk about her list, I want Bonnie to agree with me and promise to correct her behavior. When I used to express myself in this way, Bonnie felt that she was living with a domineering tyrant. It was the me I become when I am not able to be true loving self. The domineering tyrant is my shadow self. If we are not feeling love, we become the opposite of who we are when we are wonderful and loving. People who are very generous become very tight when their gifts are not appreciated. People who are very trusting and open become completely closed when they feel disappointed. When people who are very patient and flexible finally reach their limit, they become impatient and rigid. This is how love turns to hate. As a man or a woman moves into emotional role reversal, their shadow selves makes more and more appearance. If we are not feeling love, we become the opposite of who we are when we are wonderful and loving. To create and preserve a loving relationships, we need lots of ways in which to help us keep our balance, particularly when strong winds blows and the earth shakes beneath our feet. For example, I still sometimes feel like a tyrant, but I do my best to keep these feelings to myself. I recognize at this moment that my male and female sides are imbalanced and do something to recover my equilibrium. Instead of acting out, I go to my cave. From inside my cave, I wait till I want to feel better. Then, to come out, I do something that will ensure my getting the appreciation from Bonnie and that I really need in order to feel better. Instead of complaining that I am not appreciated, I do things that will garner her appreciation. Through the application of new relationship skills, the pitfalls and dangers of emotional rule reversals can be gradually overcome. In the next chapter, we will explore more ways in which men and women can find balance. We will also explore how to sustain the passion in a marriage through maintaining balance in being monogamous. We will explore the secrets of lasting passion to create a lifetime of love. Yes, done. Done with the chapter 8. Psalm chapter 13. Prayer in time of illness. For the leader, a psalm of David. How long, Lord, will you utterly forget me? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I carry sorrow in my soul, grief in my heart day after day? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look upon me, answer me, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, lest I sleep in death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed, lest my foes rejoice at my downfall. I trust in your faithfulness. Grant my heart joy in your help, that I may sing of the Lord, how good our God has been to me. Psalm 30. Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6. the first six seals. Then I watched while the lamp broke open the first of the seven seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures cry out in a voice like thunder, "Come forward." So, man, ilan eh? 30? Ara ah. I looked, and there was a white horse, and its rider had a bow. He was given a crown, and he rode forth victorious to further his victories. When he broke open the second seal, I heard the second living creature cry out, "Come forward." Another horse came out, a red one. Its rider was given power to take peace away from the earth so that people would slaughter one another. And he was given a huge sword. When he broke open the third seal, I heard the third living creature cry out, "Come forward." I looked, and there was a black horse, and its rider held I heard what and its rider held a scale in his hand. I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the four living creatures. It said, "A ration of wheat cost a day's pay, and 3 rations of barley cost a day's pay. But do not damage the olive oil or the wine." When he broke open the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature cry out, "Come forward." I looked, and there was a pale green horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades accompanied him. They were given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill with sword, famine, and flood, and by means of the beasts of the earth. When he broke open the fifth seal, I saw underneath the altar of the souls of those who have been slaughtered because of the witness they bore to the word of God. They cried out in a loud voice, "How long will it be, holy and true Master, before you sit in judgment and avenge our blood on the inhabitants of the earth?" Each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to be patient a little, while longer until the number was filled of their fellow servants and brothers, who were going to be killed as they had been. Then I watched while he broke open the sixth seal, and there was a great earthquake. The sun turned as black as dark sackcloth, and the whole moon became like blood. The stars in the sky fell to the earth like upright figs shaken loose from the tree in a strong wind. Then the sky was divided like a turned scroll curling up, and every mountain and island was moved from its place. The kings of the earth, the nobles, the military officers, the rich, the powerful, and every slave and free people hid themselves in caves and among a mountain crags. They cried out to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, because the great day of the wrath has come, and who can withstand it?" Good morning. Yes. Done. Bye bye. God bless everyone.